Hello, everybody. It's me. It's SparkleDart. I'm back for more. I like to do this because it really lets me unwind, unload all of my baggage, my personal baggage that I have all the time that really bothers me and it really weighs down on me and it gets me to a point where I'm just so sad all the time and I don't know what to think, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to be. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? If you know what I'm talking about, it's a callback to a thing that I watched when I was a little boy in 1996 or whatever. Pardon me. Anyways, if you know anything about cosmology, you'll know that there was recently a discovery that there might be a ninth planet in the solar system, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, SparkleDart, there was already a ninth planet in the solar system, and it was called Pluto, and then they said that it wasn't a planet, and then they said that it was a planet again, and I'm here to tell you that Pluto is not a planet. It is something called a dwarf planet, and here's the problem with calling Pluto a planet in the first place. A lot of alliteration there, I apologize, is that there's an asteroid in the asteroid field called Ceres, and Ceres is very large. It's very large for an asteroid, and it's almost as big as Pluto, and I think it might actually be bigger than Pluto's moon Charon. And because of that, it's like, well, it really makes me wonder whether or not we should um, be looking for new planets or whatever it is that we're doing, because I think that we're spending a lot of time in our own solar system, whereas we should be spending more time in other solar systems and finding out what they have out there. But no, they were saying that there was a ninth planet in the solar system. They think it's a gas giant, the same way that Jupiter and Venus and Uranus and Neptune are gas giants. Now, notice how when I said Uranus, I didn't stop to take a giggle break, because you know what? I'm not that kind of guy. I would never laugh about something so much. Sure, all the Uranus jokes were made when I was in high school, and I got done making those jokes once I graduated high school and took a passing interest in things like cosmology and astrology and, whatever else like that. So it's like, I get that the jokes are funny, and it's like whenever somebody uses the word duty, like it's your duty to do this, you gotta take a little giggle because poop is funny. The thing is, poop is funny, but anuses are not funny. Anuses are something that I take very seriously, and I would never make jokes about it because this is disgusting in my opinion, and I'm disgusted by people who say those sorts of things because they're talking about buttholes. Some people have problems with the buttholes, like they got like hemorrhoids or hernias or whatever problem they have that I'm not exactly obligated to say out loud, because I know people who have these problems and I don't want to point any fingers. Tim, sorry for pointing you out, Tim. It affects them, and I see the way that it affects them, and I think I might have actually just messed up a little bit there. So, anyways, they have these problems, and they confide them in me and think that I won't like tell people, but I got a big mouth, and like I said I talk a lot, and I got a lot to say, and sometimes you run out of conversation topics, and I'm scared of silence, because it really frightens me. It frightens me that I might have to actually stop to listen to anybody else and what they have to say, because I don't like other people's opinions. Other people's opinions are frightening to me. Other people's worldview points are just terrifying, and I don't like to acknowledge that other people might think differently than I do, because that's frightening to me. And these are all jokes, by the way. I'm not a Republican. So I just keep on talking and hope that everyone else will leave before I'm done talking, so that I can just finally enjoy the fact that nobody's around me to listen to and judge the horrible things that I say all the time, because I like to make very bold, sweeping statements, claims that maybe some people find a little bit radical. Me, not so much. I'm fine with the things the way that they are. And if somebody wants to share their opinion with me and talk, I'll let them do that. I will let them share their opinions. But I just don't really have a great deal of respect for people who say things that are rude. So if you're gonna say something rude, I won't respect you. But I will respect your right to say it. There's a fine line. There's a very fine difference there, and I think you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're going to be a wise guy, if you're going to be a wise Alec, I'm not going to listen to your comments, because let me tell you what, when you say things like that are offensive to me, I can't help but get really befuddled about it, really upset, and then I start to take it personally. And I know I shouldn't take it too personally, because if you're not somebody that I know, then I shouldn't value your opinion that much. And that might sound like a little bit of an arrogant thing to say, but it's kind of true. It's vaguely true. There's a semblance of truth about that, and that's just kind of what I'm getting at. That's my point. That's the point that I've been making this whole time, the one that I've been talking about. So if you don't think that is true, if you think for some reason that you don't agree with me or whatever, then just kind of ignore me. I'm fine with people ignoring me. That's not a problem. Is there? Okay, that's what I figured. That's fantastic. Great, I did it. I'm very talented. I'm a smart young boy. So anyways, my uncle, he has carpal tunnel syndrome, and he would never tell us why. He always told us that he got carpal tunnel syndrome from his screwdriver that he used too much. He said it was too big, and that he used it all the time to fix his car or whatever. And it's like, I just, I can't really take it seriously. I know you're telling a joke. And we kind of have our own opinions on why you might have that problem. We know Aunt Susan left him rather. We never really saw them much in the first place, so her leaving wasn't really a problem for me. She just kind of didn't want to be around anymore, even though they had 2 kids together. And it's like, well, this is, it's sad that the kids have to decide now which parent they prefer to spend all the time with. But at this point, it's probably better for them to get a separation. They're not even officially divorced yet. They're just kind of separated, and that's that's kind of the way that some people like to do it, because you never know what you're going to decide to do again in the future. You're going to make a decision to get back with the person that you left or whatever. It's like, okay, I can see the validity there, but at that point you have to realize that if you're living apart, then sometimes there are obligations. I'm not exactly certain that some people might have to start sending their significant other money or royalties. I don't know. If you take my last name and then you don't give it back, I'm going to ask for royalties, because honestly, that's my last name and I worked very hard on it. And if you don't give it back, then I'm going to sue you, because I don't just give out those rights to anybody. And I know I gave them to you on the promise that they would be worth something someday. And they still will be, but the fact that you're profiting off of it now, whereas I never was at the time, is a little bit upsetting to me. So if you want to give me back my last name, you know where to call me. I just absolutely have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Oh, I was talking about my aunt and uncle that hate each other and want to die. Yeah, so that's kind of what that was all about. Now, my uncle Jack is actually he's my dad's brother, and he's a smart aleck, and not in the same way that I'm a smart aleck. He says things that are rude. He doesn't say things that are clever or funny or puns or something like that. He just says things that are rude, and it's like, now I don't mind spending time around you because your family, and we kind of have to we have to make those sacrifices. Spend time with our family. It's just it's important to do, and if you don't agree with me, then you're probably wrong. Did I get the little man? I did get the little man. Fantastic. Okay. So anyways, you have to spend time with your family, and he's telling jokes that are they're kind of maybe if I was younger, I'd think they were funny. Joshua, he laughs at them real hard. He thinks that he's in stitches every time my uncle's talking, and I kind of understand why, because he likes to listen to his favorite stand-up comedian is Larry the Cable Guy, and if you know about Larry the Cable Guy, he's just a man who never stops talking. He's always got something to say, and he's a very smart aleck guy. But the thing is, pardon my burps, Larry the Cable Guy is actually he's a college graduate. He's got a bachelor's degree, I believe, and he plays a really dumb person. And everybody believes that he's really dumb, because it's funny in stand-up comedy to be self-deprecating. If you know anything about comedians like Lewis Black or Bill Hader, they're very like self-deprecating in their delivery. They're very down on themselves, and it's funny because it's like, haha, I can laugh at your misfortune and it doesn't affect me negatively in the slightest, and that's fine because I like to feel better about myself, especially if there's some reason why I shouldn't feel so good about myself. You know, like I made a bad decision. I turned over in the turn lane before it was my turn to go, or it was like I was riding my bike in the park, and then the police officer said not to ride my bike on the sidewalk anymore, but I still did it after he drove away anyways, and I just kind of felt bad about it. But at the same time, I didn't really care that much, and the fact that I didn't care that much was what bothered me the most. I was thinking, am I getting to this point where I'm just a cynical, unlikable person who doesn't like to give the same respect that he demands? Is that who I'm becoming? Is that where I'm going in my life? Because that's not who I want to be. That's not who I want to be. I know a lot of people who are like that, and I don't want to be that boy. Okay, well, this is dangerous. I'm going to just kind of maneuver around this situation, so to speak. Okay, fantastic, moving on. So he says he's got carpal tunnel syndrome, my uncle, that's where I started, and he says that it's just kind of something that comes naturally with a man his age. And I looked it up on WebMD, and it turns out that is actually not the case. Carpal tunnel syndrome is something that you get for overworking your joints or your wrists or whatever. I don't know exactly what sorts of muscles are in your wrists, probably your carpals. I know that in your ankles it's called the tarsals, and that's like the same thing. Like if you get tarsal tunnel syndrome, it's the same thing as having carpal tunnel syndrome in your wrists. But I don't know if people get tarsal tunnel syndrome. That's hard to say. Say that real fast. Tarsal tunnel syndrome. It's hard to say. Trust me. Listen. I would never lie to you. I would never lie about something so trivial. And you know that. You know that I'm a nice boy. So why even bother questioning me about it? Anyways, yeah, he said that, and then we kind of like knew that he was lying, but we weren't really sure why. And then one time we were like helping him clean out his garage because he was trying to move a jet ski into the garage, a jet ski that he bought used on eBay. Didn't even know they sold jet skis on eBay, but that's where he bought it. And I guess we thought it was kind of cool at the time, but then he never used it. And it's like, why did you buy this expensive jet ski if you're never going to use it? You know, it's asinine to what it is. It's asinine to buy something so expensive and not to use it, because I get having nice things is nice, but if the nice things that you're buying have no practical functionality for you or anyone that you know, then you're just buying it to show off. You're buying it for status, and that's more disgusting to me than anything else that I can think of at the very moment, except for maybe armpits. Armpits are kind of gross. So let's think about things that we do like. I like smoothies. You ever go to Orange Julius at the mall? They paired up with Dairy Queen to bring you Dairy Queen Orange Julius, and I think Orange Julius's might only be at the mall, kind of like Sbarro's Pizza. Sbarro's Pizza is a place that you can only find at like the mall or the airport, and it's like, well, I could really go for a gigantic pizza. I could really go for that right now, especially with roasted red pepper and Parmesan cheese on top, but I can't find anywhere like that, so I'll just go down to the mall downtown, and then I will buy one of those gigantic pizzas. Well, it turns out they actually got rid of Sbarro's pizzas because they were too big, so now you have to go to Maid-Rite or Chick-fil-A or one of those restaurants, and you're like, I don't like those foods as much. I don't like chicken sandwiches. I don't like Maid-Rites. I thought they were just called Sloppy Joes. I don't know when they started calling them Maid-Rites. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it, frankly. So anyways, without further ado, this has been SparkleDart. Thanks to you for watching. Goodbye. Mwah.